There is a secret inside Buckingham Palace. One that Queen Camilla has spent years protecting. One that, if it ever reached the public, would shake the monarchy to its very foundation. And the one person who knows exactly what it is Prince William. Sources close to the royal family say that behind closed doors, Camilla has done something nobody expected from a queen. She has gone to William, quietly, privately, away from cameras and courtiers and palace aides, and she has begged him to stay silent. Not asked, not suggested, begged. The question the world doesn't yet know to ask is this: what is Camilla so afraid of William revealing? What is so dangerous, so damaging, so devastating, that a queen would kneel before a prince and plead for silence? Tonight, Northwire gets closer to the answer than anyone has dared before. Welcome to Northwire. To understand what Camilla is protecting, you first have to understand how fragile her position really is. On the surface, Camilla appears settled, secure. The dignified queen who has navigated decades of public hatred to arrive, finally, at the top. But those who study the monarchy closely will tell you something different. Camilla's hold on public affection has always been thinner than the palace likes to admit. Poll after poll shows that a significant portion of the British public has never fully accepted her, never forgiven her, never forgotten what her affair with Charles meant for Diana. The palace knows this. Camilla knows this. And so her entire public image has been built on one strategy: distance from Diana's memory, never acknowledge the affair directly, never engage with Diana's legacy, never give the press a reason to run the comparison again. It is a strategy built on silence. And William, the future king, Diana's firstborn son, is the greatest single threat to that silence that exists. Because William knows things. Things he saw, things he heard, things Diana told him before she died. And Camilla has never been able to fully control what William chooses to do with that knowledge. Diana was not naive. She understood, deeply and completely, what the palace was capable of. She had lived through its machinery. She had felt it grind against her. She had watched it prioritize the institution over her own well-being time and time again. And before she died, she made sure her sons would not be left in the dark. Not in a dramatic way. Not in a single conversation designed to be a final warning, but over years, in small moments, in the things she said and the things she showed them and the way she raised them, to see the world with open eyes. William absorbed all of it. He watched his mother fight the palace from the inside. He watched her go around it, straight to the people. He watched her stripped of her title, isolated from support, and ultimately, he believes, left unprotected. And in watching all of that, he catalogued things. Things about Camilla's role in his parents' marriage. Things about how the palace handled Diana's requests for help. Things about decisions that were made. And decisions that were deliberately avoided. Sources close to William say he has never spoken publicly about the full extent of what he knows. But Camilla is very much aware that he could. And that awareness is what drives her fear. The interactions between Camilla and William have been one of the most carefully managed silences in recent royal history. Publicly, there are photographs, polite appearances, the performance of a family that has moved on, but palace insiders have consistently described a very different reality. Behind closed doors, William is civil to Camilla, but he is not warm. He does not seek her out. He does not confide in her. He does not treat her with the ease and affection he shows others. And in recent months, as William's public profile has grown, as it has become increasingly clear that he is shaping his own version of the monarchy, one that places Diana's legacy at its center, Camilla's anxiety has reportedly intensified. Sources describe private conversations in which Camilla has appealed to William directly. Not shouting matches. Not dramatic confrontations. Something quieter and, in many ways, more revealing. Camilla appealing to William's sense of family, his sense of duty, his understanding of what public revelations would do to the institution he is about to inherit. She has, according to those close to the situation, urged him to consider what would be lost if old wounds were reopened. She has reminded him of his father's position, of the stability of the crown, of the damage that exposure could do. And William, by all accounts, has listened, but he has not promised. So what exactly is Camilla so desperate to keep hidden? Those close to the situation point to several areas of deep sensitivity. The first is the full timeline of the Charles and Camilla affair. Specifically, evidence that the relationship continued far deeper into Charles and Diana's marriage than has ever been publicly Acknowledged. Diana spoke about this privately. She kept records, and some of those records, sources suggest, found their way to William. The second is Camilla's alleged role in shaping the palace's response to Diana in the years before her death. There are those close to the family who believe Camilla had more influence over Charles's decisions during that period than has ever been admitted, including decisions about how much support and protection Diana was given. The third, and perhaps most sensitive of all, is what Diana herself said about Camilla. In private conversations and letters that have never been made fully public, Diana was not silent about her feelings. She expressed them in writing, in recorded conversations, in what she told those closest to her. William has access to parts of that record that the world has never seen, and the possibility that he might one day choose to share it is what keeps Camilla awake at night. Here is the thing about William's silence that the palace understands better than anyone. He is not silent because he has nothing to say. He is silent because he is choosing to be. And that choice, deliberate, controlled, strategic, is arguably the most powerful thing William possesses. As long as William says nothing, the threat remains. Not the threat of a man who has lost control. Not the threat of a Harry, emotional, reactive, willing to burn everything down in the name of truth. But the threat of a future king who knows exactly what he holds, and has decided, for now, to hold it quietly. Camilla understands this better than anyone. She knows that William's silence is not absolution. It is patience. And patience, in the right hands, is the most dangerous weapon in any palace. Those close to William say he has not decided what he will ultimately do with what he knows. That the question of Diana's full legacy is something he carries privately, and will carry for years to come. But he has made one thing clear, in his actions if not his words. Diana will not be erased. And anyone who tries to erase her will have to go through him. There is a scene that those close to the royal family describe. Not with specific dates or exact words, because those details are still protected by layers of palace discretion. But the shape of it is this: a queen, a prince, a conversation that no protocol manual could have prepared either of them for. Camilla asking William to consider the crown, the family, the future. William listening, saying little, and in that silence communicating everything. Because William does not need to shout, he does not need to write a memoir or sit in front of a camera. He is the future King of England. And every day that he carries Diana's memory forward, in the ring on Kate's hand, in the values he passes to his children, in the quiet deliberate choices he makes about how the monarchy tells its story, he is already saying everything that needs to be said. Camilla may be queen, but Diana raised the next king. And that, in the end, is the answer to everything. Subscribe to North Wire, because the palace still has secrets, and we are not done uncovering them. Thank you for watching North Wire. Subscribe and turn on your notifications. New royal stories every day. The crown has secrets. We uncover them. See you in the next one.